In this section, I'm going to show you how to restore the database which you backed up in the last video. I'm going to use Akeeba KIckstart to do that. There's adequate documentation for Akeeba KIckstart out there. If you would rather read that, then watch this video. Okay, so in this case right here, I'm going to go to the I'm going to create I created a new folder in the domain name that I executed, and now I'm going to upload two files to that video. One is called kickstart.php. Now, in this Kickstart core folder here, you have a lot of .ini files. They are language files, and the only one you need from out here is the kickstart.php. Since we're doing it in English, then you would, if you were doing it in some other language, then you would have to have that particular IMI file. Okay, so now I'm going to kickstart.php. I'm going to say open that. Now it's going to upload that. It uploads relatively quickly because that's a very small file. I'm going to go back. I want to choose another file here from the same directory, backup and restore directory. In this case right here, I'm going to choose a database that I just created in the last video. In this case right here now, I'm going to say open, and it's going to upload that video. It takes a while to do this, so I'm going to pause the video while it's uploading. Once that backup is completed, then I'm going to go back to my file manager and to see in the Mosley CW under the correct that, not Mosley CW, into the public HTML, into the restore folder. Now you can see that I have Kickstart and the website. Now you must make sure that restore is in the public HTML folder, or it will not work. Okay, so in this case right here, the restore folder, I just created that restore folder, and in that restore folder I put a kickstart.php and the database that I'm actually going to work with. Okay, now here's where it begins to get a little bit tricky. Okay, so in this case right here, what I want to do now is to run that Kickstart. Okay, the domain, you type in the domain. The place, the directory it's in, Kickstart. Now that I have executed the Kickstart program from within the restore folder, within the domain Jan Warren Mosley, I come up to this point that says things you should know about Kickstart. Okay, click here to escape and close that message. Okay, now you'll see that the archived file that I have is the file that I just created in the previous video, and all of this other stuff I have to do here. Now, before I can actually go through with the restore, I have to go back to the file manager in Bluehost, and I have to come down to the section that says databases. And in databases, these are the list of the MySQL databases that I have for this account. You'll see that when you get in there, you'll see that there's more than one. Okay, so now in this case right here, I have to create a brand new database. This is a little tricky, so pay attention. So in this case right here, the new database name will be restore. Okay, it would be JANNWA_restore. That Jan and Warren section has to be in the name when you create the name. So you should write this down so that you know that you have this database created. Now, just creating the database by itself is not enough to get you set up to restore a Joomla website. Now you have to go down into the users, and you have to add a new. So you can see here now that Janois_restore database is created, but there are no users. Okay, so now I have to come down and add a new user, and I'm just going to call it restore also. Okay, and then the password for that is restore. Now you want to select a more meaningful username and password, but I'm doing this so it's easy for me to remember this when I get it. So I can now create a user. And after I've created the user, now you can still see that there's no user connected with this, even though I just created a user for it. You have to come to this last step, and then you have to say the database is Janois restore, and the user is Janois restore. Okay. Now I'm going to add that user to the database. Okay. Now I have to give it all privileges, and I have to make the changes. Now you must do all privileges and make changes in order for this to work. Now I missed the make changes part when I first did this and hit to go back and it didn't work. So in this case, you'll make sure that all privileges is checked, make changes are checked. Okay. Okay. So now we are back. We have a database, and you can see here from the thing here that the database name is Janois restore, the user is Janois restore, and the password is restore. Okay, so now we can go back to where we were working on our Kickstart. Okay, in this case right here, I want to start extracting those files. Now make sure you don't close this window while the extraction is in progress. It doesn't take very long. Now, if you were doing this on a very large website, it might take a while to do that. Now I'm going to run the installer, and it's going to ask me, and if there are any of these sections that are red right here, then you want to go back and make sure that you correct those. Now, I've never had that happen, so I'm going to click Next. Now, it's going to say it's detecting that I'm restoring this to a different site than the one we were backed up to. So in this case, it's yes. Okay, now here's where you have to be real careful. The database host server name is always localhost. Okay, the username is Janois restore. Whatever it was that you created there. Okay, now I come back to my page here, and I paste in the username. Okay, I paste in the database name, and I paste in the password. Now, if I've done this all correctly, which sometimes I don't, I have to go back a little bit, but I think I've got this all correct here. I go to Next, and it will say it's restoring it. Okay, in this case right here, it looks like it's a restoration. This looks like it's 100%. I click on OK. I click on Next. And in this case right here, you just accept these things just like they are. Okay, so in this case right here, I am going to just accept those items just as they are. Okay, once the site configuration has been written to the disk, you have to remove the installation directory, which is a simple one-click process, which clicks OK. And now it will take you to your new restored website. And you can see here that I restored from my old domain name to the new domain name. And in this case right here, it's just like any Joomla website. Okay, so in this case right here,